first and most important thing to me is trust the design process. You have a wonderfully diverse design team, and for an individual to try to own every detail is probably too much. I think I told you that, Jack. We have some designers that we know, and we're like, can we bring them in? And then I said, you know what? We need to trust the entire team in order to work best for us, and kind of close your eyes and then open them and then be surprised that they heard you, I think was one of the things that I think is really important, to really trust the entire team.
Hi, this is Jack Baldwin with Raynard Architectural Designs. You're listening to By Design. I am joined by the whole gang today. I've got James Knight, I've got Kaylin Kite, I've got Meg Riley, the entire design team, and the three partners of Raynard Architectural Design. We'll start with Meg. How are you today, Meg?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Anything new to report? Anything fun and exciting going on in your world?
Not really. Me and Marci, though, had a great day of shopping today. So, yeah, we looked at windows, flooring, tiles, all the good stuff. So, it's exciting moving forward.
It is exciting. Kaylin, how are you?
Yeah, doing good. Yeah, doing good, man.
Have you?
Happy it's almost the weekend.
Yeah, me too. Are you adjusted back to Eastern time? Because you got back home and then we went to daylight. We lost daylight savings time after being in Switzerland.
Yeah, it was a 6-hour difference. Now it's a 7. So, no, I'm not totally adjusted. A couple 3:30 a.m. wake ups this week, 5 a.m. this morning. So.
Yeah, we'll give you some grace.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're joining us. And we got James in Brisbane. James, how are you?
Good. I'm excited to get into it.
All right.
It's always good to talk about a project. It's one of our favorites. So excited to get started.
We got one of our clients joining us today. She's just going to talk about her experience. Marci Robinson. Marci, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, I'm excited about this. This will be fun and adventurous. And as Meg and James just mentioned, this is one of our favorite projects. It was one of my favorite projects even before we got started.
Right.
We went down to the creek over in Talking Rock, and I think you and I just felt some really good energy. I fell in love with the property like you did when you and your husband picked it out.
Right.
When you guys did, but beautiful property. Can't wait to see the house that you guys are designing built. But Marci, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, well, Marci, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Marci Robinson, my husband Kevin and I have been married for 24 years now. We have 4 young adult children. We've traveled everywhere from, Arkansas to California. We've spent quite a bit of time traveling overseas, love the outdoors. So what I do for fun is all things outdoors. What I do on the business side is marketing for a pharmaceutical company. So that's who I am. That's my life. That's my family.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that's great. As Jack was saying before, the property is awesome. And I'd love to hear about how you guys first found it and then how you made that choice to then look at a design team and bring us on board. What were some of the decision-making processes you went through to choose a firm to design with and then get started with it?
Of course, Kevin and I, being empty nesters now, wanted and had a vision that there'd be a place that we could find that bring together all of our experiences from traveling on family vacations. And when the piece of property came up, that pulled together everything we've done on vacation, from water to mountains to rocks to hiking. We said, this is it. So once you find that property, it's so exciting because you feel the connection to the memories you've created as a family, our family of 6. So then we started thinking about, well, now how do we build a house on it? And if you go to Google or any other search engine to say what to do when you're building a house, everything on there is very scary. It's like what not to do. Make sure you know what size you want. We're like, how do we know what size? Make sure you know what furniture you want. Well, how we don't know the size, and make sure you don't. So much of not to do. We got overwhelmed before we even started. So my daughter and I were actually brainstorming ideas. One website said, consider an architectural design team. And we went to a website If you want to know, I can tell you. But the website pulled up a bunch of images of inspiration. It said, click all the pictures of architectural design firm that you like. And so we clicked, and then came up Raynard Architectural Design. We're like, oh, that's just a coincidence. Let's redo the search. And so we redid the search again. And every time we searched, Raynard Architectural Design would come up as the design team that would be able to bring to life some of the inspiration that we were starting with. So that made us decide, hey, why don't we give them a call and see how quickly they respond? And I think how quickly Jack responds, and rest is history. I can dive into anything else from that, but that's just a little bit of background of how we found the property, why we found the property, why we went with the design team, and then how we specifically found Reynard.
Perfect. That's awesome. And we're so happy that you chose us to work with. When you were picking out who you were going to work with, what was the most important factor to you, or some of the most important factors to you?
Well, I don't think in the beginning, because you're so overwhelmed with the thought of what not to do, because there's a lot on the websites of what not to do and how it can all go wrong, and don't get your hopes up. We really were looking for someone to give us some guidance on what to do. And so when we talked to Jack, Jack was very clear in outlining the roadmap of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So it felt like there was a path for the vision for you to go. So for us, hearing and feeling someone's desire to walk us through the plans was one thing. But then beyond that, the thing that was really cool that I thought Jack did is that he was willing to go out to the property, see the property. So it wasn't over the phone in theory. It was, I want to walk the property with you. I want to hear your vision. I want to hear what you're excited about, which is really cool to have a stranger at the time get excited with you what all the property could be. And then I think the tipping point was after we had said, okay, we're going to go forward with this, was to see Jack's excitement on social media. My young adults could forward it on to their friends through, I think it was TikTok, Jack. Is that right? Yeah. It really just got so much excitement from friends and community, like, oh my gosh, you're really going to do this. So I think all those things together are what started the journey and the excitement in the journey. And I must say one more thing on that, though, that's funny, that Jack was willing, because it's a really steep property. Jack was very cool, calm, and collected going down the property, but on the way up, he was pouring sweat, but still his composure, and he was breathing hard, but he was a true friend, and he was willing to sweat and just rough it out to go all the way down to the top. I mean, it was so bad, but he smiled and was just like, it was such a pleasure. I am so excited about possibly doing this project with you. So thank you.
Those are really
sorry. Did I embarrass you? Did I embarrass you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, you got 3 other people who are sweating for you too. So that's
right.
And that's what makes it easy on my part. It's like I say this all the time, but I get excited because I know what's about to happen. It's like when you're going up the roller coaster and that anticipation comes, and maybe it's somebody who's going on it for the first time and they're scared.
Right.
You know it's ahead. You know how it's gonna go, and you know it's like, I know you're gonna meet Meg, and I know you're gonna love her, and I know you're gonna meet James, and eventually you'll meet Kaylin like you did for the first time tonight.
Right.
But that's fun for me. It's like, I know our team, and I know the kind of people that get to partner with you. So thank you for the kind words. I had a great time hearing your vision about the property, and that was my question. I just kind of wanted to hear, like, I always love dreaming big, talking about inspiration. Like, where did you guys get your inspiration for the concept for the home, or what's your vision? How do you want this home to look and feel as you're designing?
Well, I think every adult wants a place to play. And so for me, I think I told you I want a tree house. So it's almost like, how can we create a tree house jungle kind of feel? Because I grew up overseas in the islands, in the woods. And so that was part of it. We also wanted some privacy. If other couples wanted to come and hang out, that we would have a detached dwelling unit for another couple to live. So that was just in our mind somewhere. And then we thought, you know what, it'd be really cool if we could have just an outdoor, non-traditional deck area where people can watch a movie or eat. And so we pulled all those thoughts together, from traveling to the islands in the Caribbean, traveling into the mountain areas, wanting a place that feels like we can play a little bit as a family. And then asking our young adults for pictures. One of our sons sent us a picture of a Hobbit house. Didn't make it in the final cut, but we got a Hobbit house theme as part of the design. And so
That's awesome.
yeah,
I love that.
He really wants a Hobbit house in there, but it's really cool to bring that all together. Yeah.
Kaylin and I consider ourselves pretty big nerds, so when you say anything
Yes.
Lord of the Rings, we're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, he loved the Hobbit. So James, I hope we don't change any of your designs then and add a Hobbit house to the.
Probably fit it in there somewhere.
Yes.
So what in your project has turned out to be easier than you expected? I know earlier you mentioned, when you were researching, it was, oh my gosh, do this and that, and there was just so much, and it was intimidating. So has anything been easier than you expected?
Well, one of the things that's been easier, well, several things have. One of the things that I absolutely love is the communication platform, because everybody can have the best intentions in the world. We've worked with great designers and remodeling groups, but papers, quotes, ideas, design are lost in translation. When you're doing it over email, who can find the email? But then the other piece of that is we really wanted this to be something that we're building together as a family. And so to invite our young adult children, if they wanted to be a part, if they wanted to see, if they wanted to comment, there was a platform where the doors open for them too. And even though all of them haven't dove into it, our oldest has, and she feels a part of the process, that this is not mom and dad's home. This really is a family home that we're building. So that's definitely been easier than I thought it would be. Another piece that has been easier is than I thought was continuing the momentum forward. I've heard of so many people that buy a piece of land and they've been sitting on it for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But what's been really easy and quite organic, not stressful, not rushed, with this roadmap is, okay, step one, we're just going to sit and have a conversation. That's not stressful. Okay, we did that. Step two, Jack came and had the same conversation again. Thank you, Jack. It was good because we needed this is what we're doing. And then at the a really great time, I thought it was really helpful when Jack and Meg were like, why don't we go and look at some furniture? That was easier than I thought too, because that helps you start to feel like, it is possible. The vision is tangible. The vision is coming closer. So I think the other piece, along with the communication, is continuing forward at a really nice, thoughtful pace. Doesn't feel like we're too slow, and it doesn't feel like we're going too fast. It's really perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Conversations about how to make the process easier, what should be included in the process. Like, there's just so much to it, and there's unexpected things along the way. And I miss out on a lot of things because I can't be there. So hopefully I'll be there next year. But you guys get to have fun having a look at furniture. You get to have a look at the window manufacturers and things like that. It's just like the closest I get to that is an email, or I can go look at the not the same.
Right.
So,
but James, I don't think it's all. I do want to give another shout out to Jack and Meg, and I know we'll get to the work that you've done, because I'm making it sound easy, but I cannot imagine the patience it takes. Like when Jack and Meg go to a store with us to look at furniture, it's like, oh, I love that. And we're looking at something totally different than what we ever said we'd be interested in. And so they've really been great building coaches, life coaches, and helping to keep husband and wife, us two, focused on where are we going, what is it that we want to do, and not spinning out or going down rabbit holes of things that don't matter. That's not an easy job. So Meg and Jack, thank you so much for the great therapy that you provide as we're moving forward and building the house. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love
it.
What
would you say is some unexpected challenges, or some things that you felt could have been a little bit easier, or maybe you wish that you'd approached a different way, something that might have popped up and you'd be like, oh, okay, didn't expect that to come?
Well, I don't know. Really, all of it's been great. I think part of some of the things that I think were helpful, but you guys came along and provided help on this beautifully, was anticipating the order of things like, okay, do we start landscape now? Or do we start soil tests now? Or do we hire a builder now? Or what about permits? So all those pieces that aren't part of the actual architectural design process is probably a little bit more gated than we thought it would be, and the importance of the timing of all that. The thing that I think that Jack has done in that, though, is he is incredibly resourced, where when we were really having a hard time finding a builder that could help us think through the gating of everything, and that would not unravel our vision of the architectural design process. I remember Jack thoughtfully said, you know what, Marci, I have another builder. If at any point that you're interested, I have a connection, I have a relationship. I know you guys, and I think this could be a good fit. And he was absolutely right. I mean, it was him being resourced and having a partner and a builder who could help us gate appropriately and could help us achieve the vision, help make what was hard with other builders easier through the resource and the partner that he provided. So thank you for that, Jack. Kenneth has been great to work with.
I think a builder is so important. They just bring so much more to the table, especially what we can't do, you know, because they're going to be the ones who build it.
Yep.
You know, and you're going to spend so much time on site with them during this whole process. And things may change, you know, during that process. But finding the right builder is hard. It's stressful. They're trying to find a design team that can work with the builder. You don't want a team that points fingers at each other. There's
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that your team sets such a high bar, and I didn't even realize it, that by communicating so well, you keep us involved in the process. When we get a builder who's not communicating, we're like, well, what happened? Like, what's going on? Is this normal? Like, I'm literally called normal. Like, people just don't call you in 2 weeks. Like, how does that happen? It's really unusual to have, like you said, a good match as far as a great design team working with us and a builder that communicates equally as well. So yeah, it's really hard, but I think we've landed on a great one.
Yeah, he does seem great. We've been communicating really well together too. Probably the builder that I've talked to the most out of all this, all my clients and all the projects. So it's been good with him. Okay, moving on from the challenges and the easy parts of the process, what have been your most favorite and fun parts of the design process?
My favorite parts have been I think seeing Kevin, my husband, get excited to see the first design pictures come out. James, I think I told you, I printed it out for him because we like to look at them together, and he has a passion for architectural design. And literally he was laying in bed, like looking at every page. And I was like, hey, what about me here? Let's pick up. I didn't say that, but I was in love with the design. So that was really fun, just to see him excited and looking through it and seeing his dream come to life. And then seeing our daughter as well has been another favorite part. Doesn't touch Kevin's excitement, but seeing her really ask questions about where are we in the process, and I have some ideas. For me personally, I've loved the shopping. Of course, it's fun. I love when Meg and I have been walking through an antique store and we said, we love that light. Let's get it. All right, we're going to do it right now. And she's so confident when she does it and then pulls it together. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. So it's spontaneous. At the same time, it's planned. It's thoughtful, including everybody's ideas. So the whole process has been quite an adventure for everyone in the family.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah. It's, you know, I love James is on a different time zone, obviously. So he's working while we're sleeping and vice versa a lot of the time. So when I wake up in the morning and I see the feed of designs coming out, that's my favorite part of my morning.
It's like Christmas, James.
It really
it's like, do I open it now, or do I wait until lunch, or I don't want to, because I don't want to be distracted and I want to print it
I don't
out.
want to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to see emails before I go to bed. I send them all out as late as I can. So I'm like, turn the phone off and go to sleep.
I know, right? It's so exciting. It's like
it's like the first tangible thing that happens when all these things that were design ideas and, Pinterest boards and mood boards. And that's the first tangible thing you get. And when Kevin came out shopping with Meg and I in Roswell, I loved watching him carry that around. He had the floor plans in his hand.
Yes, it's with us. It's like, I don't know, is it a child or a woman? I don't know. We're like loving his floor plan. Like he had it with them. He did. I also like, James, another thing that you did, which I know was Kevin's favorite part, because he mentioned a feature of an architectural designer that he liked. Do you remember who? I don't remember.
I don't know who it was. Yeah.
Frank Right.
What did you say, Meg?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had saw it in an image, and then you included it in the design. So, and he complimented you for hearing him in the ideation phase and including that feature in the design. So
Yeah, of course. They're the things that make it, right? So you try and listen as best you can. I write notes down at the same time as recording the meetings that we have, and I'm trying to pick out just little things that will make it unique to you, because as much fun as it is just to design a house, when you can make it unique and be like, hey, I'd just like to have like this cantilevered sort of deck out over here. It's like, all right, so how can we make that happen? And then if you can, take it and do it, so.
It was cool to have a builder, look at it and comment on how beautiful and unique the design was. One who was a skeptic to the architectural design process. And he's like, wow, that's a pretty cool deck right there. That's really nice. And we didn't move forward with him, but anyways, he was impressed. So
It's definitely been a process. So part of the thing we hope to have happen when we do these podcasts is we're thinking about other homeowners. We're thinking about other people like yourself.
Right.
And you're not quite done, but you're far along in the process, several months in. So it's kind of like, lessons learned, or maybe what would be a really good piece of advice if you were going to talk to somebody, like maybe, travel back in time and talk to Marci 6 months ago. Like what piece of advice would you give to somebody who's taking on a design project?
I think the first and most important thing to me is trust the design process. You have a wonderfully diverse design team, and for an individual to try to own every detail is probably too much. I think I told you that, Jack. We have some designers that we know, and we're like, can we bring them in? And then I said, you know what? We need to trust the entire team in order to work best for us, and kind of close your eyes and then open them and then be surprised that they heard you, I think was one of the things that I think is really important, to really trust the entire team. The other thing would be, which your team does well, is to bring in, as early as you can, a builder who's willing and respects the architectural design process and can lay eyes on the concept and early on give you an idea of price. So that way, okay, well, we're kind of in the budget of what we thought in the beginning. And so you can start making your tweaks up and down there. I think the finances are probably what really impact people, but the trust is paramount. That is the foundation. I think the third thing would be to be flexible too with timelines, just because it is a process. Timelines in maybe when you thought you were going to have a soil test, timelines in what you expected to come out of concept 1 or concept 2, just to be flexible and enjoy the ride. It's a wonderful journey. Every phase has a unique experience in it that you can have memories about later. I would just say, just be flexible with the process and enjoy every phase of the process.
That's really well said.
Yeah, very good advice.
Well,
we should play that clip to all our new clients.
Just trust us. Marci said so.
I know, right? I trust Meg so much. We were looking at tile that I was like, the lady was like, what do you think? I was like, Meg, what do you think? She's like, I like it. I was like, we like it. So let's go. So it's so much easier just to not overthink it and to trust the process.
Well, and what you said helps us too. I mean, we're young too. We're a young company and young people. And so we're still learning all the time as well. And we're also trying to be picky about our clients. We gotta pick people who we trust.
Right.
This is the design, our motto is always design with, not design for. And when you're going to design with, you really need to find people you can partner with. And sometimes you just get that feeling, and there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of things that maybe you haven't even put words to yet, but you just know when it feels right. And I think we've experienced that today too. So,
Jack, can I say another thing? Is my interview time over?
No.
Oh, okay, good. So I think another thing that your team does that I really like when you said it's not designing for, it's designing with. You guys do a really nice job, not only with the podcast, but showing that this is who you are. You go on tours of homes and you record and take pictures, you forward them along. And even in that, I told you, Jack, though I could not make it to the home tour or the tours of homes there that they did, I was able to see some ideas that we're pulling in that Jack's going to pull into my home now. So you're putting in newsletters and you're showing, hey, here's some of the things that have been done. You're doing TikTok, you're doing podcasts. TikTok is for the younger generation and they can forward it out. So there's so much that I think you're doing to support the excitement around the design process that makes it obvious that this is not just, you know, we're doing something for you, but this is who we are. We're living and breathing it every day and always looking for opportunities to highlight the beauty and creativity of home design. So thank you for what you do.
Well, thanks for saying that. I mean, it's everybody though. I mean, you know, Kaylin, you know, even though she's kind of behind the scenes a lot of times she's not the first person that our clients get to meet, but she and I have spent so much time at coffee shops, particularly one up in LJ, just hammering out like what works for us and inspiring each other and, you know, bringing out drones and looking at properties and
and crashing said drone.
I wasn't going to say it, but I'm referencing that because that represents a lot of legwork that a lot of people do that goes unnoticed, and conversations that are frustrating, looking at spreadsheets, believe it or not, like all of that stuff adds up to an experience that's well thought out, you know, and I appreciate you saying that because I never want to forget that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see that's really frustrating and hard. But when a client or somebody recognizes that they've experienced something meaningful and they see it as passion, it really shows that it was worth it. So that goes a really long way with me when you say that.
Yes. The 5-star of passion is the Halloween costume. I'm like, hands down, what the heck was that? What did you wear it?
Wait, which Halloween?
That you ordered from Amazon.
I was just,
like, man, you're really living out your brand. That's so cool.
That was just a meme. I was trying to capture the spirit.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
I do have this fox with me though.
Oh, let's see. Aw, that's so cute.
I was keep a fox around. And yeah, Meg, I've loved seeing you out shopping with Marci today, and just a lot of wisdom beyond your years. I mean, Meg speaks with a lot of confidence, and I really appreciate her being there and giving some input on, yeah, you're gonna like this or you're gonna hate that, and she really speaks up. So I noticed that today, Meg, when we were shopping for windows today with Marci, and I did get to go floor shopping, but. Yeah, that was part of a really fun experience too.
I noticed that as well, Meg. I think I was telling you, Meg's very unassuming because she's thoughtfully quiet and observant, but she knows when to be like, okay, this is what I think would be a best idea. And I'm like, thank you for being very confident and direct. I don't think you're going to like that. Like when you speak and you share what you think is really what the customers want. It's very thoughtful. It's very confident. Yeah, I did know that. I did know. And I kept looking to you. Did you notice that? Like, I was like, okay. If Jack would chime in, I'm like, that's nice, Jack. Meg, what do you
And that means a lot to me too, like just to like have clients trusting me, because like sometimes it's like they don't completely, and I don't know if that's an age thing or what, but like you like fully trust me, and it like means a lot to me and gives me that confidence to like speak up. So thanks for that.
We definitely had the other experiences where people don't trust us as well, and that's hard, but yeah, we've all come a long way. We've got a long way to go. But Marci, thank you so much for making the time during the evening
All right. Bye, guys. It was such a privilege. Thank you so much. I'm excited to highlight the final project. Thank you.